Right, let's get into this. Hey guys, welcome back. Time for another tech review. Time to look at the brand new action cam from Onepaa. It's the P4. Oh, how times change. About 6 months ago, I was saying on this channel, I've never owned an action camera before.
I've never owned a GoPro before.
Now I'm on to my fourth, I think. Yeah, the guys at Onepaa sent me over their P4. First impressions, it looks very similar to the SJ Cam SJ4000. Similarly, just like the SJ4000, it does 1080. It's Wi-Fi enabled, so like the SJ4000 Wi-Fi. But one thing that sticks out that's different is it says it has a 2-inch LCD screen. Now, one thing I wasn't too happy with on the SJ4000, looking back now, is how small the screen was. And actually on the M20, it's a similar size screen. I think it's actually the same screen. It will be interesting to see how big of a difference this makes with a 2-inch screen. If you watched the previous video, sadly I won't be able to put them side by side purely because I drowned my SJ4000 in Mexico. But hey, I don't want to talk about it. I really don't want to talk about it. So, quick look at the box. It's a tall profile. The camera is front and center, or front and center and up. Obviously, imagine all the gubbins are in the bottom here. Let's have a look. It'd be interesting to see just what kind of operating system it's running on here, because virtually every budget action cam I've seen has run virtually the same software, which is the same as the SJ4000. The M20 was an update, and that was nice. So quickly, sorry, sleeve off. Nice look with the Onepaa in silver there, if you can get that. That's pretty. So let's lift off the top and see how that looks. We've got the plastic covering. Just like many of them are doing now, it already comes shipped in the waterproof housing. Just makes it a little bit easier to ship, I guess. And yeah, that bigger screen, that does look somewhat different. Hold your horses. So inside we have a separate box, actual separate box, that's nice, and the white foam to push it just that little bit further forward in the packaging. So there we go, that's the camera there. If we have a look in the box, oh, okay. We do expect, and I don't necessarily mean to be very blasé about it. Oh yeah, we've got that attachment and that attachment and that attachment. Got to remember just how few attachments the GoPro does actually give you these days. Obviously, they don't need the waterproof housing anymore with the GoPro Hero 5. That's waterproof. But I'm always impressed just how many attachments get shipped with these things. Obviously, already clipped there on the waterproof housing. You have a second one, which stands a little proud. Obviously better for like a chest mount or something like that. I know there are certain people, including my father-in-law, that hates taking the protective stuff off. He'll be going crazy now if he's watching this video. So it's kind of like a sprung latch. There's no other little locking thing here. Obviously 2 buttons here, button there, nothing on this side. Let's get, oh, okay. That's a slightly different kind of housing, and oh god, that was a little bit stiff actually, maybe because it's new, but it definitely means it's in there properly. So let's take out the actual camera, and yeah, that screen is noticeably bigger. That's that sound. It's running the same software. Wow, yeah, that screen is mighty big. You know what? Let's get a card in this nice and quick. Aha! Got a spare SD card here, 32 gigs. I haven't really looked into what the compatibility is. You'd expect it to be able to take a 32 gig, wouldn't you? I like to kind of find out about these as you do, really. Obviously, when I edit it down, it doesn't take you as long. So, yeah, it's 1080 at 30 frames a second, 720 at 60 frames a second, 720 at 30 frames per second, and WVGA at 30 frames a second. Further down, you also have VG. You also have the possibility. Yeah, there's no even point trying to focus that. Who uses VGA anymore? So 1080 at 30 frames a second. That's the top resolution. For those of you who haven't seen a lot of my earlier videos, I film my main camera on the C920 from Logitech with two soft boxes to make sure that the resolution's kept up. Let's just chuck that in there. That can focus on that, and that can focus on that to have a look. Then we'll do a little side by side. Hello, I don't know, should I be a little bit up here, down there? Are you getting in all the rubbish that I've kind of pushed to one side, although you wouldn't really think about it? So yeah, the C920 is filming at 1080, and so is the Onepaa. This is going to be really good conditions for the Onepaa, obviously for the P4, purely because this is like perfect lighting for it. So this should give you a good example of how it works. First impressions, it seems like a rugged little piece of kit. There's the what I assume would be the Wi-Fi hotkey. If I hit it, yeah, it brings up the Wi-Fi and to pair it. But looking back into the box, so you quickly, yeah, you have a couple of the male and the female connectors to go onto tripods or tripod mounts. You get a few of the stickies, the 3Ms, the usual, the one with a hole in it, and the one with the tripod thread in it. So effectively, if you're without stuff, that can go on a tripod and then it can click in with that or with that. This is an interesting little doings because this looks like its own skeleton housing. For those who have seen or have used the SJ4000 from SJ Cam, the skeleton housing is just a different door for the waterproof housing. I know I keep going on about it, but that's how I drowned my SJ4000 skeleton on the waterproof housing underwater. Yeah, so this looks like its very own skeleton housing that goes on like that, like that. How's that gonna... Ah, clever. Get it? Get it? That's nice. That's nice. And it's reversible. You got a hole there, hole there, hole there, hole there, and a hole there. So it doesn't matter because you can put it on like that from underneath or from above. That's clever. That's clever. I imagine they're not the first to do that, but I've not seen that before, so that's a handy little thing. I like that. Clever. Oh, you got a cleaning cloth? They always want to send a cleaning cloth, don't they? And also, you've got the micro USB lead. I know they have to send them, but how many do we have, really? All of us. And you have the instruction manual in English, German, Russian, Chinese. So you've got your scan codes on the back of the manual, presumably for their app. And I think it's time to see some footage. Starting off with the obligatory time-lapse shot in Tesco's car park, my wife Emma has been unwell, and as a loving husband, hunter, gatherer, I ventured out into the wilds to bring back sustenance. As you can see, toiling over a hot microwave with chicken and vegetable soup. No doubt Raymond Blanc will be taking notes. Recipe notes will be available in the description below. But this was to illustrate how the camera holds up indoors with natural light. Low light now inside, and as expected the noise ramps up quite a bit, to be expected with such a small sensor though. Out and about on the road, I've muted the audio for now, there are some microphone examples coming up. This was mounted to a cheap suction cup mount and it's not doing a bad job. There's no stabilisation in this camera, so that should be kept in mind. However, with such a wide field of view, adding a small amount of image stabilisation in post-process I imagine would really help out the footage. For those who know their way around Liverpool, you'll know exactly where I'm heading. For those who don't, next stop, Anfield. I'm getting out of the car soon, so you'll get an idea of the audio capture on the camera itself. Now, despite the slightly shaky camera on the selfie stick, sorry about that, the sensor is capturing quite a bit of detail, especially when there's a bit of distance from the subject. Furthermore, there isn't much anti-aliasing, moire or chromatic aberration in the fine details of the bricks.
So if it seemed as though I was going into town, I'd probably bring you past one of the greatest stadiums in the world. It's just getting an extension. The main stand has had a massive extension, and as soon as I've been away for quite some time and I haven't actually been able to get down into town and actually have the time to come and have a look at here, I thought I'd film a little bit on the selfie stick, nice and high, and looks impressive. I'm going to say the battery isn't great on this. I've got it paired up with the Wi-Fi on the app. The app that I'm using is actually the SJ Cam app. Works fine, probably because it's the same software inside. This is on a full charge, and in total, with it connected to the Wi-Fi, I think you'd be lucky to get an hour out of this. Having said that, the battery actually charges within about an hour, so it's a pretty quick charge to actually get it back up to full capacity. And if you recently have an SJ4000 that has died on you, and you have 3 separate batteries and a separate charger, those work in the Onepaa P4 too.
And back to a bit of shaky hand, the lack of image stabilization is noticeable in scenarios like this, but having a look at a bit of close-up, yes, the lens distortion is present as expected, but we're getting quite a bit of detail in the shadows, which is surprising for a camera of this level. I just can't resist zooming in when I have the option. I know it's digital zooming, I know it's not optical, I know it's going to pixelate terribly.
One thing of note comparing to the SJ4000, it's actually running the same software within the camera and obviously the same batteries. It does actually power up quicker than the SJ4000 and, dare I say, the M20. I'd say, what, maybe about a second quicker. It's ready to shoot within about 2 seconds maximum of powering up.
As you can see, again, good detail in the brickwork and good usable information in the shadows, like under these trees. It was quite dark under there, but the auto white balance and the auto ISO, it sorted it. Backlit by the sun, however, the detail in those shadows does drop off somewhat. Still, there's some good greens across the park, and the detail close up is very usable. Back to the garden now, and step down to 720 and you get 60 frames per second, which can give you some great slow-mo. All in all, it's a good budget camera. Okay audio capture, it's got a versatile separate skeleton housing, and it's a good cheap addition for capturing those memories. So folks, there you go. That is my unboxing and review on the Onepaa P4. I did actually check with Onepaa when they first emailed me the pronunciation for this, because I didn't know if it was the Onepaa or the Onepaa, and they did say it's Onepaa. So if there's anyone pronouncing it Onepaa, you tell them. You tell them Adam said it's Onepaa. As always guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you're not. Make sure you check out the description for any links where to get anything I've shown in here, and also my gear. Don't forget, get yourself over to the Facebook page, like it there as well so you get all the updates. And above all else, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.